Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to
Mind Body Stuff.
I'm Kaylee.
I'm Bernice.
Welcome back to another episode. We today are going to talk about success, our definition of success, what that means, how it can be really painful. And I thought it'd be interesting to even begin to define what failure means and why we view it the way we do and how it can be just such a personal definition and where they come from, starting to understand them. And I'm going to give you a little background as to why this podcast.
Where you from, Maine?
That's not Maine.
That wasn't. Where you from, Maine? That's Maine.
Is that Maine?
Well, it's like a crab fest.
Oh, good. They eat lobster, don't they?
They eat lobster.
Or blue crab.
Or blue crab. Remember there? Yeah, blue crab.
They like blue crab over there.
Yeah, they're moving a crisis there, though, with the workers to do the blue crab.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
But that's a whole nother podcast, isn't it?
Not one by us.
The Blue Crab Podcast. Stay tuned.
We have a new career coming, which ties into my definition of failure and success. Why this podcast came to be is because I've been feeling like a huge failure in many avenues of my life, especially this week. So for some reason, I'll just give you a little backstory. For some reason, things just have not been working. Like, for example, trying to record online classes. We've got to get this ULA 1 video up. The camera doesn't have an SD card in it. Even then when I teach the class, it's like a total, excuse my French, shit show. Then that was Thursday. Even Wednesday, the day before, I have all of this stuff that's just not working. Like bad accounting that I've been doing. So my numbers are actually skewed, which is really depressing when you think you're doing better than you actually are. Just like nothing is feeling good. Nothing feels like it's flourishing. Just kind of depressing stuff in the work environment. But the thing is, not only work-wise, but even in my personal life, like I have Huxley's birthday party is on Sunday. I called to get some cupcakes made. The guy I didn't think was like totally understanding my order. So I called again the next day. Good thing I called because there was no record of the order. And then I called today just to confirm because I had a weird feeling. Couldn't find the second order for the cupcakes. And I'm supposed to pick them up tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, it took literally 3 calls to get a cupcake order made. Like, this is how my life has felt this week. It's been really challenging, and I feel...
And like, it's hard because we came off of this kind of amazing week in Minneapolis.
I think you're right. And I think that is probably, that kind of amplifies this because we came off feeling so great, and we just... Yeah, it was awesome being there. And then come back to this and everything just feels hard. Honestly, everything just feels really hard. And the personal life stuff, it's like, I don't know, like it's not like I can stop being a mom. Like I've had some bad parenting moments, but it's not like I'm going to stop being a mom. But like with this work stuff, it's like, I've been like, oh, I should just quit. I suck. Maybe baby number 3 means that I should just be a housewife now. Like it's really triggered a lot of my insecurities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has.
And so anyways, Bernice knows that because I've been whining for days now.
I'm like, stop whining. I'm like, let's do a podcast on success.
And how we define it. Which is perfect because, I think part of this kind of definition of success, when we just kind of have our eye on the prize of what success looks like, when we don't reach that, we feel failure more strongly than if we weren't so tied to this idea of success.
Yes, very good.
And so I think for me, I have expectations of myself, and I want to be, I want to be successful. But now my work is defining actually what type of success is important to me. So when I really look at it and think about it and go back to my why, what is my why for doing this work? It's not for, it's not to make a ton of money. It's not to, have more instructors than, this company, that company, whatever. Those really aren't, they're really not my goals. My goals are to do meaningful work, to empower people, to help us feel connected as humans. All of this work that is really hard to calculate or to measure. That's the right word. To measure.
Yeah.
These things are actually what matter to me, but I can still get caught up in the measurements sometimes. And I realize that this week has just kind of made me confront that in a way that I haven't felt in a long time. And it's been challenging for
Which
me.
I think is kind of helpful, though. Again, we're going to talk about the negative, the benefits of the negative, of kind of sort of, again, reevaluating why we're doing this work. And, what success means to us, so we don't get sort of hung up on numbers, or don't get our value sort of through whether our bank account is really big or not. And also made us kind of reevaluate what we're doing with the program, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Which I think we wouldn't have done without this this sort of cosmic nudging.
Totally.
Of like, look, these numbers aren't matching up.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is weird how we immediately go to the negative, but then sometimes I'm like, oh, but we wouldn't have thought of any of this without this kind of push.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And even just today in my ULA 1 class, I think contrast is a huge area that we can see things more clearly. So for like the ULA 1 playlist, the theme is light, but it doesn't mean that this playlist actually feels very light at all. What this playlist has is a lot of contrast, of asking us to go to the dark, to experience the dark, to talk about the dark, so that you can then not only get to the light, but actually truly appreciate the light. You can see things more clearly when you've felt the opposite, I believe.
Yes.
Or as you start taking things for granted, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
If everything is always light, you're not like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for this, because it's all you know.
Right, and then you just think like that's like
that's just how it is.
Some members of my family who've had a very easy go of it, which is lucky for them. That's awesome.
Right.
But I remember they're like, I would never be a caregiver.
Oh, sure.
I would never help with that. And part of me internally was like, how do you know you're never going to have something that happens in your life? Like that's but it's almost because they've never been touched by it.
Yeah.
That they're almost, they think they're so far above it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Which makes me jealous too. Like, oh, how wonderful! You're just always sort of floating up here.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Where I get so like, I could die tomorrow, and I'm like, hello, why am I thinking about that now? That's not helpful.
Yeah, but what that does, I think, is it also anchors us in the present moment, because when you know that what you have could be fleeting, it helps you appreciate it more. And I think that is the beauty of contrast, because you've had strong moments in your life where you didn't know if there was going to be a tomorrow, and so it helps you really appreciate, I've got to feel gratitude for this present moment. I've got to feel gratitude for today. But people who have never had to be really confronted with some serious dark stuff, it's like they can take the light for granted easier.
They can, yeah. Which makes me, I do get jealous of them. But just reminds me, there's nothing to be jealous of. All of us are in the same boat eventually.
Yeah.
Really.
And, just kind of like what we touched on last week with, or 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry, with the Letting Go podcast, we were talking about trying to protect someone from actually hitting rock bottom, but we have also admitted that our greatest lessons and blessings have been from going to that place.
That's very true.
And so, recognizing that it is in that contrast of experiencing what it feels like to hit those moments in our life that I think can help us not only be grateful, but also have sympathy and empathy in ways that we wouldn't be able to have. And I'm sure your family members have a difficult time relating to many people.
That's true. Yes.
Because it's a very, very tiny population of the world who hasn't really had to deal or be concerned with too much besides their own personal enjoyment.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point. Yeah.
And that's, it's hard to relate to. And it really, it's hard to be as compassionate when you don't have much to relate with.
Yeah, right. They're kind of like, well, what do I have to be compassionate about?
Yeah, I've never felt
like,
that.
I feel fine.
Yeah.
How about you? What's the problem with you?
Yeah, exactly.
Or why are you fat? Like, I remember them, like, one family member just, like, berating one of my kids. Like, why are you so fat? Oh. Like, why are you drinking that juice? It's like, well, you're lucky.
You're lucky.
You haven't had to deal with, issues
like that. You don't know how that feels.
Right. Exactly.
To not be able to eat anything that you want and have no repercussions.
Exactly right. Yeah. So
you don't know how it feels.
You can't even empathize.
To financially struggle.
No.
To feel, the effects of prejudice or privilege or, any of that stuff that really I feel like can give us the perspective to have compassion.
Yes. That's a very good point.
So I don't know how this ties into success.
Well, you're kind of answering your own question, which is awesome. I love this because she's been in a dark place, radio land, a podcast land, dark place. But it's not that dark. I mean, she wasn't that dark. It was just
frustrating,
and feeling like a failure.
Yeah. Well, and I've worked really hard,
and I don't want to be. And that's another good point. Of course you can feel like a failure. Like, I don't want to take that away either. Like, not to say, like,
thank you.
You should.
Thank you. Let me feel like a failure,
yes,
okay?
Because we're so, like, the same thing with the tissue and don't cry
stuff. Sure.
It's almost like, of course we're going to feel like failures when things don't turn out the way, or even in this process, aren't happening the way we thought they should be.
Yeah.
So, of course we can feel that way. Because it doesn't feel good.
No, and I think that when things like this happen, then it is such a strong opportunity to reevaluate why you're doing the work you're doing, or why you're in the relationship you're in, or why whatever this thing that has created these feelings of failure, it just really gives you a good opportunity to think, okay, well, what's important about this to me?
Yes. Because
for me, when I actually think about it, there are things that are way more important to me about the work that I'm doing than this notion of it being quote unquote successful in the way that we as a capitalistic society
views it. And what would that be?
As like, more money, bigger company, It usually has to do with
bigger,
numbers,
more.
Bigger, more. And I think just like maybe we talk about this in some of our workshops, with body confidence, you may feel like you're doing a lot of work to feel comfortable and confident in your body, but no matter how much work you do at that, you're still going to have constant messages through marketing, media, social media, all of that are telling you that there is actually a beauty standard.
Mm-hmm.
And then no matter how much work you do, there is still this collective subconscious energy that sets us up to think that if we don't look a certain way, then we are not as beautiful or as desirable or as feminine,
as good, almost.
Or as good, or as worthy as I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, as worthy of anything, whatever it is,
love, attention,
yes,
companionship,
totally,
friendship, even.
So I have to translate this over then to like the even just, I don't know if I should call it the business world, but just the maybe career world, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Even no matter how much I tell myself the work that I'm doing is meaningful, I'd rather have a really big impact on a few people than a so-so impact on a bunch of people. I still am living in a society and a culture that values more, bigger is better.
Yeah.
Money is the ultimate
Goal.
So even if I'm doing all that personal work, I'm still part of a culture that values something different.
Yes.
And that is, it's hard to always be butting up against that. And when you feel weak, then I feel like it can affect you more.
Yes.
And I feel like also the sense of failure, even if it's self-defined, when you're feeling that way, then it can just flare up all your insecurities.
Well, of course, because we talked about negative bias.
Yes, totally.
And how our brain works on negative bias.
Yes.
And so we have the little pinprick maybe of like negativity.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's right. I did the numbers wrong. You know, what does this mean? You know, my business isn't bigger and better like it should be or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly the pinprick turns into a flood.
Yeah, because
really, it just goes, and it's almost like you have a big balloon and you just pricked it and then it just let all the negativity out. Mm-hmm. You know, in a weird way.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. And so it's just like triggered my issues.
Yes.
So now I'm not only sitting with this feeling of like, oh man, like I suck as a business owner. Then I'm also like, I'm not good enough. Like, just then it triggers
worthy.
All of the other stuff that you're like, man.
Kind of like your glasses.
Yeah, it's like then you just, but I feel like with me, it's not just one pair of glasses. No. And it's like, and I'm bad at that. And I can't do that.
I'm a bad mom.
I just shouldn't do any of this. I just shouldn't do any of it.
Yeah.
You know? And so
right.
I don't mean to make this podcast whiny, but goodness, it's been hard.
Yeah, and that's...
and I think it's really hard when you like try really hard to do something well. Mm-hmm. And then when it doesn't work,
and of course, because we base it on bigger and better, like we'll get more money because I'm doing this really well.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, things should be growing faster than they're growing. Mm-hmm. Things should be, whatever. And then when they're not, then I'm like, I am an incompetent business owner. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I suck as a manager. I shouldn't be doing this. And then so it triggers all that stuff.
That cavalcade.
And then I'm like, well, I don't know.
Like, why am I doing this?
Do anything.
Right. Yeah, that's what I do all the time. If I have a class, a bad class, I'll call Kaylee and I'll be like, I'm retiring now.
Exactly.
And she's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. Only 3 people came, didn't do very good. I'm done.
But that's hard. I mean,
you take
really
over.
Hard.
It's all yours.
Yeah.
I won't teach anymore. I'll be in the back office.
I'll just manage the spreadsheets.
Thank God you don't have to see me out there. Ugh. But it's funny how it just radiates into all these other areas of our lives.
Totally. And starting a business is hard. Like it really is. But it's like, man, I thought it would get easier at a certain point.
I don't think it does.
Ugh, it's like exhausting.
I mean, I guess if you just like a giant business and then you sell it or something.
Well, yeah, then you don't own it anymore.
That's right.
Then you just make all the money from it.
That
sounds easy.
Yeah, isn't that great? But those people work so hard, working, climbing, working, and then eventually someone buys them, and they're like, "But you can keep as CEO or whatever,"
right?
Which is awesome.
Like, cool.
Yeah, and then they pay you the big bucks or whatever.
Right. But then you do have to be careful because you can't end up like that guy you talked about in the Letting Go podcast. Or maybe you talked about it in the workshop. But you've talked about him in a podcast before.
I have, yeah.
Where he just worked, and he had all the people around his table. And then as soon as he retired and had like hit the top of his career and had made a ton of money, as soon as he retired, no one was at his table anymore.
It was like poof, they were gone. And he looked my dad said he looked so sad.
Yeah, and so I guess
So he was sitting on his mound of money, kind of.
Right.
But all alone.
Yeah. And I guess for me, I just hope you guys are at my table. Even if we're broke and can't survive, it's like, but again, it's like.
I think that's the one thing you have guaranteed with this business is a lot of people will be at your table.
And that,
because it's all about connection.
It's people.
It's people. And when that's what I just keep going back to in Minneapolis, doing the training there and doing those wonderful workshops too with everybody. is I just realized it just reiterates to me the importance of the connection.
That's our business.
That's our business.
If we can measure our business in that, then I think we're doing a good job.
And I go back to the value sheet.
Yeah, the value sheet.
Because absolutely. I remember when we were filling that out, and I looked over at Kaylee, and I'm like, oh, our work, my work here, checks off all these values.
Totally.
That I don't have to be like, it just fills up my cup so much in terms of citizenry and education and spirituality, personal growth.
Yep. Well-being.
Physical and mental well-being.
Yeah. It does. And I'm fortunate enough that my family doesn't rely on me making money to survive. So I do understand that I'm coming from a place where I don't have to make this profitable to still be meaningful. And I'm very grateful for that. And like I went home and I was like crying to Rob and I'm like, I suck, I'm sorry. I just, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, the work you're doing is so much more valuable than the money that you bring from this, And it's true. And I'm just very grateful that I have a husband who understands that value isn't always financial.
Yes.
And that we're in a position.
And you have the freedom.
And I have the freedom.
Right.
And I have the position.
Because
But there's a part of me that because I have that freedom, I want to prove that I can do it.
Well, and I have that. We're both the same.
We both are
way.
driven that way. Because
yeah.
I want to prove it to myself. And I think that's maybe one of the most disappointing things about this is I want to show myself that I can do this.
Yeah.
And I haven't.
And to do it in the understanding of Western culture way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
In a weird way. I'm the same way, because I'm like, I'm the baby of the family and I don't have to work either because of other financial reasons. And I think everyone just looks at me like, oh, you're so cute or you're so funny or
right.
But it's like,
yeah.
nice that you have that hobby. And part of me's like, it's not a hobby.
Right.
Like, look at this business.
It's not a hobby.
It's not a hobby. We're changing the world.
Yeah. But they kind of want to see it in the financial way that you're actually doing something.
Right,
exactly.
Right.
Doing something.
Right. It's more like, oh, that's so sweet.
Right.
Like, how cute of you.
Right.
Helping people.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you guys listen up.
Totally.
We're in the Fortune 500, and
I
don't even know.
Yeah, it's like you would almost feel like you could combat their negativity if you had the if you could say that.
Yeah, I just changed my stature sitting. I'm like, that's how I.
You did. You just
I would come in and I would sit at the dining room table, kind of like, I don't like hello, but again, that's good for us to know because we need to explore then really what is success.
What? Yeah, exactly.
Because if I'm basing it on you need to be in a Fortune 500 company.
How happy are you going to be though? How much time are you going to get with your family?
None.
Are you going to live in the city you want to?
No.
Are you going to, you have to break it into those types of questions and think, would I be happier? Would my family be happier? Yeah. Would I feel more fulfilled? Would I be doing more fulfilling work? I'm sure there are Fortune 500 companies who do very, very, very meaningful work, and their employees and their people are completely filled up. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. And so it is it's important to come back to why you're doing the things that you're doing. And then letting your definition of, I don't know. I mean, maybe we don't even define success and failure. Maybe what we need to do is just continue to ask the question, is this work meaningful? Am I using my gifts to the highest ability? Am I serving people in my highest capacity? Am I happy with my work-life balance? Do I still enjoy the work that I'm doing? Asking those types of questions, and that needs to be kind of our guide as to
how well we're doing.
Yeah, as to how well we're doing, not just this year
this is what happened. And,
we increased the whatever by this percent.
Right. And we're like, check that out.
Check it out. But it's almost like you get more street cred if you can say that stuff.
I know. Well, yeah, that's the whole,
And so you've got, so that's what I'm saying is we're constantly, no matter how hard you do, no matter how hard you work to do the personal work, you still live in a society that's going to value something else.
Yes.
And so just understanding that and then giving yourself, like the pep talks, the continual pep talks to be like, no, this is why you do this work.
Right. This is what you're doing it for. Right.
This is why you do this
and
work.
if you want to be part of a Fortune 500 company, then you better go do it.
Yeah. And if I want to make a bunch of money, I need to quit Ula. Ula needs to go
bye-bye.
Then
we need to open up Suddenly Salad.
Then we open up our salad bar. And that is going to bring in the big bucks.
Boku bucks, baby. Boku. I'm telling you.
I don't know. It's hard though because I also like went to school for business, and I'm like, oh, I suck. Like I just suck.
But really, people like again, we'll go back to the connection, the life changing.
I know, but this is
even in business. So we're trying to not fight, but sort of change the fitness industry. In terms of
we're up against resistance.
Yes, of course,
constantly. But I feel like anytime you're trying to do something.
Don't you want to ride a bike for 30 minutes?
Radical.
No, I don't want to ride a bike for 30 minutes.
I don't want to lift weights.
It doesn't make me feel good. When I leave, it's not like I can go deal with all the shit at my house and my brain, where I'm like, what's happening with my kids? And how did I do this here? When I do that work, it's sure maybe my body looks pretty good.
Right.
But my brain doesn't feel so good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And to some people, I guess it does.
And it does to some people.
I don't want to do that type of work. I want my work to be like full being.
I love that.
I want this work to be healthy, beneficial, therapeutic, nourishing for the whole self. But unfortunately, I don't think everyone wants that. Clearly.
No, and it's almost like they just don't know.
Or they've had it and then they don't want it anymore.
Yeah, maybe
that's I said. This
fine.
Is the part that's hard for me.
It's discouraging.
It's fine, but it doesn't run a business.
No, it doesn't run a business.
So then when you're in this situation and instructors decide not to teach and whatever, it's like, man, what else could we be doing? Like how just racking my brain how to be a better business owner for this business, and I just feel like I'm sucking at it right now.
I still think we're doing pretty good.
Thanks.
Because I just go I go back to Minneapolis. I'll go back
Where is the violin music right now?
And just those, the master classes, the wonderful people there, the workshops, the change on people's faces, the tears, the laughs, all that stuff. I just feel like
I know
we are doing something, and maybe it's not going to be the way we think it should be, but maybe that's okay.
I know,
right?
Yeah, and
maybe we do have to look at, in terms of confront ourselves in terms of like, okay, if you're in this to make a ton of money, then you got to change the paradigm,
right?
Because it's kind of like a values thing, too.
Yeah.
And that is okay. I'm not against making a ton of money. But if that's what you want to do, if that's going to be the big portion of your pie, then we got to shift paradigm focus.
We do.
Right?
Well, and we have put so much work into actually constricting growth.
Yes, she's exactly right.
Like we have put a lot of thought and a lot of processes in place that make growth not really
not part of the paradigm at all, really.
It's like personal growth is part of the paradigm, and that is a slow process, and it takes time, and it's uncomfortable, and it's painful, and it's not very profitable. But that is what we've committed to, and that is what we stand firm by. And so why am I comparing myself to a paradigm that we have said we reject this?
You're exactly right. That's exactly right.
So then, so I'm like, okay, come on, Kaylee.
Yeah. Snap two.
Snap two.
Snap two. Hop, hop, hop.
Get out of your little pity party you're having for yourself
of course
here.
We need pity parties, as we talked about before.
Well, you're right. I think they are drivers, especially for you
parties.
and me. I feel like, sometimes that confrontation with the negative or that sense of failure or whatever, they can usually serve as pretty powerful wake-up calls.
Yes, definitely.
But then I'm like, well, why can't I make a cupcake order? What the hell is that about? I'm like, I think there's something energetically bigger happening right now, which I'm not really sure what it is. But we sometimes at work we draw cards. And so this morning we drew from this deck.
What's it called? Cards to the Universe?
No, it's called A Note from the Universe, I believe.
Oh, Notes from the Universe.
Oh, yeah. Notes from the Universe.
I thought it said a go-card dick.
Excuse me?
What it said.
What?
It didn't say that. That was
a go-card dick?
It says a go-card deck.
What is that?
I don't know. Something in my brain. Sorry.
God.
Sorry, everyone.
A go-card dick. Yeah.
Go-card.
It's really life-changing advice in that deck. So my card said, the main thing those who've passed would like to tell those who've not passed is that once you get over the shock of having safely arrived, completely intact, cool as ever, and bathed in love, what you'll miss most about Earth after ice cream is the beguiling romance of uncertainty. Oh, yes, you will. You really do have it made. Signed, the universe.
Uncertainty,
the romance of uncertainty. And for those of us who like to feel like things are in control, the uncertainty is tough. And for me,
painful.
Yeah, and for me, it's there's obviously something about uncertainty that I need to be looking at right now, and everything in my life is presenting it. The card presented it. Even today, so we tried to film Ula One on yesterday. It didn't work, so I taught a special class today to film it, and like 2 songs from the end, second to last song, you guys, nobody touched anything. The music stopped, and then about 5 seconds later, the music went in fast forward. Like how did the music do that? Nobody touched it. No one was involved in this thing. And then when it came back on, it was like super loud. And then I hit to turn the volume down, and then it just skipped to the next song. And I don't use Spotify. I'm not on down. It's like, these are songs that are purchased on iTunes. Like it shouldn't have happened.
Right.
And so there's just some kind of weird stuff going on right now.
Energy happening.
So I've got to just figure out how to sit in this space of uncertainty. But also I do think uncertainty helps us once again find clarity.
Yes.
And so this contrast, always playing with the dark and the light and the uncertainty and the clarity and these contrasts.
And letting yourself flow between them, I think.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, you work with me too. And I also am obsessed with control and certainty.
Yeah.
So we're the same way of like... uncertainty, like even when we were talking about what was happening with the business, I'm like, are you sure you looked at everything correctly? It's like,
yeah,
we must be certain.
Right.
But it's like,
yeah.
Of course it's life.
It's life.
Like we can't, we're not magicians. I'm not a psychic. If I was a psychic, I'd be out. I don't have it. I'd be out making millions of dollars telling everybody what they need to do.
Right.
But I'm not. So it's just that. It's just so unclear sometimes that it's upsetting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It totally is.
Yeah, and we're so used to being like, and then we did this.
Mm-hmm.
It's action-oriented. And then this is fixed. But you know what? Sometimes we do that, and it's not fixed.
It's not fixed. It's not fixed. I mean, just this stupid cupcake order. I called once. I called the second time.
You did everything right.
I thought I was fixing it. I did everything right. Then I called a third time, and it still wasn't fixed. And so when it's like, I am doing everything in my power to fix something, and it's not getting fixed, then, you just are sitting in this really uncomfortable place.
Uncomfortable place, yeah.
So, yeah, this discomfort, this uncertainty, it's interesting.
It's almost though we should be appreciative, like it says in the card, because the uncertainty, like you just said, gives us clarity because it makes us question things.
It does, because if you aren't questioning anything, then you become complacent and you get out of touch with your feelings. Mm-hmm. You get so just like, blah, 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 this is just how it is, that you're not confronted to ask yourself the question, how does this feel?
Right.
How does this feel?
Right.
And you guys know me. I ask this question constantly. I constantly ask this question. How does this feel? How does this feel? How does this feel? And make your decisions from that place. Now, then my impulsive side is when things feel like shit, then I want to make my decisions from that place too, which can be incredibly destructive.
I'm always like, wait 24 hours.
I know. I'm like, you know what? That's it. Third kid, I'm going to be a housewife. And I suck at being a housewife, but I'm going to do it because I suck at this more.
Hate that.
I would hate it.
She'd be like calling, like, so, do you want to talk about? I'm like, no, you're a housewife now. No, just kidding. I would never do that. I was a housewife for many years. Look at me now.
You hated it. They called you Old Yeller. Have you guys heard this story?
No, don't tell me. That's hilarious.
Okay, we don't have to tell the story, but yeah, you probably weren't that great of a housewife.
I wasn't a very good housewife. Very frustrated.
Terrible.
I felt like I didn't have control. They're kind of like beasts or something, but not even like I train horses. Horses I gently say, do not cross this area.
Yeah.
And a lot of horses are like, if you do it enough times, or you kind of tap them with a little whip gently, then they're like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
But kids, I'm like, dude, I told you 10 times. Like, finally, I just start screaming, like, can you not hear me?
I know.
And then I'm not a very good mom, you know. But and I know a lot of people are very good moms or more. patient.
Way better than us.
Yeah.
I love my kids desperately, but I am definitely not the best mom.
Well, you seem pretty good when I see you, though. You're trying to make sense.
That.
Like, I'm always like, wow, how do you do that? Like, I would have yelled at Huxley a few times, but you're always like, Hux,
let's talk about this.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, good for you.
But you know I love to talk, too.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
I love to talk. I talk.
She is.
I process through talking. So then with Huxley, I'm like, let's process this through talking, little 3-year-old. Now tell me, why did you feel like you needed to straight arm your friend right then?
Tell her to stop.
And she's like, well. I'm like, well.
I don't know. I just felt good.
I'm like, well, let's think about that. She's like, okay. And then she does it again. So obviously this isn't really working either.
No, that's the beauty of parenthood. Not to say that everyone has to be parents, because you don't have to be. You can find this in many different areas. But I love how it just, again, kind of like this work with success in a business, it's again holding up a mirror of like, okay, so what's important to you?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
You know, and what's going on in your life? Because this person's reflecting back to you some stuff.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I'm going to yell. And it's like, and is that effective?
Yeah.
Not really.
This is a really bad parenting moment. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll report back if this is a good parenting move or not. But like B said, we always try to like ration and talk to our kids and have them understand and be like, here's why you can't do this. Okay? Here's why it would work better if you do it this way.
Why
let's
you can't
talk about
take
this.
all the cookies.
Yeah, let's talk about the importance of sharing, and let's talk about how that felt when you pulled your sister's arm too hard and, you know, she fell over. Let's talk about that. Do you think that felt good to her? How did it feel to you? Let's talk about it. So that's been our approach.
Good
but,
approach.
I mean, yeah, I thought it was good.
Very
but
patient.
Seriously, my child, I don't know if the lesson is sticking sometimes. So last night, she was being absolutely horrendous at this garden party that we were at. And so in the car, I was like, we have been nice to you. We've talked to you in the best way possible, tried to explain everything to you. It's not working. So now I'm just going to be mean to you. Do you understand? So if you, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take the other approach. Being nice to you has literally had zero impact on you. So now I'm about to get mean. Anytime you do something like this, anytime you listen, anytime you, whatever, I'm going to be mean about it because I've been nice for 4 years now. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I think she took me more seriously.
Well, then she was like, they talk about that in horse training. I took this one class. I've taken many, but one of the classes we had our horses, and the guy's like, and now you're going to move your horse over to the right, and you're standing by their right shoulder. So it's like, first you gently touch them on the right shoulder. And of course, the horse is like, whatever. But he's like, if your horse is well trained and I touch him on the right shoulder, they will move over. They kind of know. But our horses don't know. So I touch gently. He's like, okay, that didn't work. Now we're going to touch harder. Mm-hmm. And of course, the horse is still like, why are you pushing on my shoulder?
Yeah.
So we do it. So you increase the level, kind of. But you start low, and finally you're like, whip, whip them on the shoulder, and they go, whoa, and they move over, and you're like, good horse,
good.
So eventually, and it took a few times, it was kind of interesting. Eventually, I could just touch the horse, and it would move over.
But the horse had to know you were serious.
It had to know I was right. The first time. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Like, yeah, I don't really take you seriously, lady.
Yeah. You seem very
So
nice.
let's talk about this.
That's a good point.
Let's talk about this, Huck.
Yeah, because it's like,
Let me try to explain this to you why you need to act this way and not that way.
Right.
So then last night, I'm like, I'm done explaining to you. All right? You just need to understand that I'm serious. And when I say don't do that, then you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't straight arm your friend and choke her. You can't do it.
Feels good.
Especially in front of her mom. I'm like, oh my God. You're not gonna be able to hang out with this friend anymore.
Right. That's upsetting.
It's upsetting.
But you said though that it felt like you meant it.
Yeah.
And it almost means, and still, so that trainer would say then even the next time you start with the soft.
With the soft.
So you always start, but then you can slowly work up to the bigger. But you always start with the soft because eventually you don't want to train them that you always have to go to
yell.
Hard.
Yeah, because I don't want to parent like that.
Right. So I thought that was a good point.
Feel good
start with the soft every time.
No, that's a really good point. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to have to yell at you.
No, and then you'll be old yeller
but
like
I also
me.
need you to take it seriously that when we say you can't do that, you can't do that.
And I mean that.
And I mean
Mommy
that.
and Daddy mean that. We're not.
And I don't want to spend the entire time parenting you.
Right.
And trying to explain to you why you have to take turns on the swing. I don't want to have to spend. I've explained to you why you have to take turns a million times. I don't want to spend our garden party time explaining to you why you have to take turns.
Right.
I want to be able to say, Huxley, not your turn.
Remember?
Let your friend go. Turns. And then for her to say, okay. Because you're actually going to make us leave right now.
Right.
If I don't.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I don't know. Parenting is hard. Wow.
Parenting is hard. Hello. I can't
Super
believe
hard.
it. And now my kids are old. Well, I have one going into 6th grade. No. Middle school. But my other kids are old.
I still think he's in 3rd grade.
I know. He still acts like
Ray
it's
Ray is like a 3rd.
Ray.
Yeah, but he looks he's so.
But now he's getting so tall.
He's so tall. But for some reason, I just see little Ray Ray.
Yeah, like his little 8-year-old.
Yeah,
so cute.
Totally.
Yeah. Now he's
little
11,
baby face.
Soon to be 12.
Crazy.
But those big kids, I for some reason, I'm kind of dumb. But I thought you have all these kids and then they'll grow up and then they'll kind of take care of you. Yeah. But you know what? They grow up, but I still have like issues with some of them.
Yeah. What? They don't go away?
I'm thinking maybe by the time they get to be 30.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know. You people with older kids will be like, be hello.
Wake up.
Of course, you're always going to be a mother and you're always going to be a parent, even when they're 40 or 50. I guess we're always parents, in just different degrees. But I'm just still surprised that they can kind of break my heart or, hurt my feelings or, where I still feel like I'm not a good parent.
Yeah.
That
they
type
can
of
still
stuff.
Trigger that sense of failure.
Yes, that still sense of failure.
Even though you're like, I thought when you turned 18, I was done.
Yeah. But
it can still, that stuff can still trigger you.
It can. It's like you have this umbilical cord that's attached to them. And maybe other folks out there, you're better with that. And maybe you can tell me how you don't feel that as much. And maybe you do. But it's still a process.
Oh, man. Can't things just be easy?
But I'm so thankful for it, though, too. Even though, like, Kaylee saw me cry today and, all this stuff. But I am thankful for it. I am thankful for how things change, and I can't expect always to feel good about everything I do, or
Right. Yeah, because it helps you continue not only to grow, but also to really it puts the question right up in your face in a way that just comfort and complacency don't.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm like, I'm doing real good. Like, almost kind of a cocky attitude.
Yeah, and then it gets you.
I've got it all figured out. And then suddenly it's like, bam. And then I'm like, hey, you better stay grounded down here. Yeah. Pay attention.
And maybe that's what happened after our trip to the Twin Cities is we're like, our work is meaningful. Like, what we do matters. This is great. And then I think maybe we got slammed with a little bit of, but.
Of reality or.
But.
Yeah.
You still have to think about all of these other things and make sure that,
that go into a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like,
And we're not a nonprofit.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, you know, that would be a completely different avenue.
Well, and there's a lot of people to pay now. There's a lot of people on payroll.
Yeah, we have a lot of people.
There are a lot of people
dependent on us.
There are people who need this job to, you know, pay their bills, live their life. So the fact that we can provide that for more and more and more people, that's exciting. It is. I mean, we definitely have growth. Absolutely growth.
We definitely have growth.
There's just room for improvement in some areas, and now it means we need to really sit down, take a hard look at that, and make business decisions from that perspective.
Yeah.
Keeping our values and our why and our mission in the forefront, but understanding how to mold the business to help support that mission.
Exactly.
So, you know, we just have work to do.
We have work to do. Thank goodness.
Yeah, right? What else would we be doing? Oh my God, we would be so bored if we had nothing to do.
Reading some romance novel on a beach.
You do read you go to the beach next week.
But I have to do a whole wedding. I'm kind of stressed about that. It's totally fine. Because I'm attaching success and failure to that,
right?
By the way.
Sure.
So that's why it's bothersome for me.
Sure, because you want everything to go.
And I kind of don't want to attach success and failure to it, but some people in the arena with me are maybe more, and I'm like, suddenly I'm like, I didn't think that it had to be success or fail, but now I'm feeling like it is.
Yes, and you have to live up to what you perceive their expectations of it to
exactly.
be. And I think that's actually something big for me too with Ula, is that I think that other people have expectations of it that I'm afraid of not living up to.
Yep, that's exactly where I'm at too.
You know, and that gets stressful.
Yeah. We gotta be clear about that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I desperately want to be. You know, even somebody the other day just asked, like, well, are you going to provide childcare at a meeting? I'm like, I can't afford, with what money?
Yeah, we're a small business.
How am I supposed to pay for, I have to probably find childcare at home too to have, you know, Rob will probably be there, but it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's really hard when you also are like, oh, do people think that we're doing so much better than we really are, which there's a blessing in that, but there's also like a sense of pressure to be what people think you are or want you to be.
Yes, right.
And then it kind of
expectation.
Yeah, and then it's hard to just be what you are because you're tied into what people expect you to be. Yeah. And that's exhausting.
Oh, that's exhausting. Yeah. Yeah. It's the same with the wedding.
It's exhausting.
Oh my gosh, there's all these expectations now. I was just like, let's just have a fun party.
And then you focus on
and
those
maybe
things.
Some things won't be perfect, but I'm always like, but at least it was fun. But now I'm like, uh-oh.
But now it has to be this thing that people thought it would be.
Almost like,
and what does it say about me if it's
not?
Yes,
it's like a reflection on
that I was like, that I didn't think about all these details. Or that I actually think that this is good. Sometimes shit happens and you're like, yeah, I think this sucks too. Okay, but I did my best.
Yeah, I tried.
Or there was, you know, a detail got forgotten somewhere. I am sorry, but I did my best.
Yeah, and you have food and you have drink.
You have food and you have drink.
And you're in a beautiful place.
On a beach.
That's what Mike keeps saying. You're in a beautiful place. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, but it's hard not to. It's hard not to get tied up in the details. And oh my God, the wedding industry is insane. The amount that you could think that you have to do and provide for a wedding, I can't even. I mean, I'm going to have it with 3 girls that I hope they all elope like their mother and father did. Children.
Or they could do it at the ranch.
Follow your parents and just elope at the courthouse. It's much easier that way.
I talked to someone last night about that. They were like, we just loved eloping.
I loved it too. I didn't want the pressure of a wedding.
I didn't realize my wedding wasn't I didn't feel much pressure. Hawaiian style, you know, my mom took care of a lot of it. Yeah. But it was Hawaii's just kind of like, we're just going to have a great time. And here's the church, here's some flowers, and here's your dinner.
Yeah.
But now I'm realizing that, you know, other people have...
What are the gifts that we give at this moment? And what do we have to have this and this and that and seat assignment? And how do you write the cards and blah, 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 blah.
I'm like, what are we talking about? I just want to have a fun party.
Exactly. And celebrate a marriage of 2 people in love.
Yes.
But again, it's coming back to the why. And then thinking about that is what the forefront of this needs to be.
That's a good point.
And then everything else needs to support that.
Yes.
That is when it needs to be out. All of the other details and the happenings need to just be in support of that why.
Yeah.
And I think when you can operate from that place, whether it's a wedding or a business or even a relationship, what else is there in life? Weddings, work, relationships, parenting.
I
don't know. I have no idea what else. I don't know what you people do with your time.
Good luck.
But I think when you can have the quote unquote operations always be in support of your why, then that keeps you happy.
Yeah.
It keeps people happy.
Don't get confused with all the other stuff.
But it is confusing.
It is confusing. Hello.
So, anyways,
glad we could talk with you today.
Thanks for listening to me whine. Everyone in my life has had to do that. So, welcome. You guys are now a part of that.
In the podcast world.
Thanks so much for listening. As always, love you guys.
Love you.